The final hair product that is visible on the skin's surface will be entirely keratin. Hair is really simple in structure, yet it plays a critical role in social functioning. Here in this module, you will understand the basic structure of hair and its characteristics. Learning objective. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the basics of hair structure and embryology. Learn about the hair growth cycle. Recognize the composition of hair. Identify the physical properties of hair. Hair structure and embryology. Hair is the only bodily component that is fully regenerable and scar-free as long as the follicle stays functional. The continuous regeneration of hair also implies that chemically changed hair will retain its form, color, and texture until removed. The number of hair follicles present at birth stays constant throughout childhood, gradually decreasing with age. Hair follicles begin to grow early in the fetus's development, with follicles in the eyebrow, upper lip, and chin appearing around week 9. The complete pair of follicles appear by week 22. The body develops 5 million follicles, with 1 million on the head, 100,000 of which are on the scalp throughout the fetus's development. No more follicles are produced further in life. The number of hair follicles per unit area reduces as the body size rises. Hair develops from follicles, which resemble stocking-like invaginations of the epithelium surrounding a dermal papillae region. The region of active cell division of hair is generated around the dermal papillae, and is referred to as the bulb. Cell division happens every 23 to 72 hours in the dermal papillae. The follicles slope the dermis differently according to their location on the body and individual variation, and are located at various levels between the lower dermis and subcutaneous fat. The erector pili muscle originates in the middle of the follicular wall and terminates at the epidermis-dermis junction. Sebaceous and apocrine glands attach above the muscle and open into the follicle in specific body regions. The hair bulge is where the erector pili muscle connects, and new matrix cells are generated, which initiates the hair development cycle. A freshly produced hair appears at the scalp surface after about 3 weeks. Hair growth cycle. Hair grows cyclically, with growth phases approaching hibernation and total latency happening with clock-like precision. Each hair develops to a set length based on genetic characteristics and age. Among the hair follicles, the resting phase telogen lasts about 100 days. The growing phase, referred to as anagen, lasts about 1,000 days, whereas the transitional period, referred to as catagen, lasts approximately 2 weeks. Scalp hair has a relatively lengthy anagen phase and a comparatively short telogen phase, with a ratio of 90 to 1018 anagen to telogen hairs. However, only around 1% or fewer follicles are in catagen. Thus, the average healthy person loses 100 hairs each day. Each follicle is expected to perform this cycle 10 to 20 times throughout its lifetime, although the activity of each follicle is distinct. Hair composition. Hair is an inanimate structure composed of protein. It is made mainly of keratin, a protein complex consisting of insoluble cysteine-containing helicoidal protein complexes. The hair is composed of an amorphous matrix rich in sulfur proteins that contain keratin fibers. The hair is composed of an amorphous matrix rich in sulfur proteins that contain the keratin fibers. These protein complexes, which account for 65 to 95% of the hair's weight, are very resistant to breakdown and are therefore referred to as hard keratins. The hair fiber helix exhibits an alpha diffraction pattern under X-ray crystallography, transforming to a beta diffraction pattern when the hair is stretched. Each hair shaft is made up of many layers that are produced by tightly packed keratinized fusiform cells. All the cells are organized in a cohesive fiber. The core cortex of the hair shaft is an enormous mass, with some shafts also having a medulla. A protective layer of overlapping surrounds the cortex, keratinized scales called the cuticle, that makes up to 10% of the hair fiber's weight. The cuticle-free sides face outward, with the proximal edges resting against the cortex. Physical properties of hair. The hair often gets exposed to assaults that no other bodily organ could withstand. The hair shaft's physical properties are determined by its geometric shape and the organization of its constituents. While the cortex is mainly responsible for the hair shaft strength, an intact cuticle is required to withstand external mechanical stresses. The most common mechanical stress that hair is subjected to is stretching as a result of grooming trauma. The hair possesses elastic properties, allowing for stretch deformation to its original configuration. Hair can be stretched in water to 30% of its original length without causing damage. Generally, stretching the hair to 80% of its original length results in hair shaft fracture. Static electricity production is another interaction between the hair shafts. Due to the low conductivity of the ions along the hair shaft, static electricity damages dry hair more than wet hair. Wet hair is a great conductor due to the presence of water. Static electricity causes a hair grooming issue because it repels the hair shafts, resulting in flyaway hair that stands out from the scalp. Static electricity between hair shafts may be decreased by reducing hair friction, combing hair in colder circumstances, or increasing hair hydration. Highlights of the module. Hair is the only bodily component that is fully regenerable and scar-free as long as the follicle stays functional. Hair grows cyclically, with growth phases approaching hibernation and total latency happening with clock-like precision. The hair is composed of an amorphous matrix rich in sulfur proteins that contain keratin fibers. A protective layer of overlapping surrounds the cortex, keratinized scales called the cuticle, that makes up to 10% of the hair fiber's weight. Stretching the hair to 80% of its original length results in hair shaft fracture. Wet hair is a great conductor due to the presence of water. Thank you. You have reached the end of this module.